Did you know that the key to a fulfilling and intentional life lies within you? In today's video, we will explore the transformative power of imagination according to Neville Goddard. Discover how your ideas, when charged with genuine emotion, can transform your reality. Get ready for a journey into your inner world. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, Quantum Consciousness, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss anything. Let's delve into this transformative wisdom. The internal movement, the seed of everything that manifests in the external reality, merges with it to give rise to a similar movement on the physical plane. The actions of our inner being are the driving force behind every event in our lives. Imagination, that crucible where fantasies are forged, becomes reality when the actions of the inner being align with the actions the physical being must take to materialize a desire. The duality inherent in the human condition presents itself as a constant struggle between two opposing forces that reside within us. The Bible, in its timeless wisdom, describes this battle as the eternal struggle between the natural and the spiritual. The natural man, limited by his senses, fails to comprehend spiritual truths, while the spiritual man, awakened to the internal reality, recognizes the supremacy of imagination. This awakening to the imaginative life occurs when the individual perceives the presence of other beings within themselves. From birth, two nations, two rival races, coexist within us. Two centers of thought, two perspectives of the world, vie for supremacy. The inner body, as real in the realm of subjective experience as the physical body in the external world, represents a deeper dimension of reality. This inner body, the seat of our imagination, must be exercised and consciously guided. The internal world of thought and emotion, to which the inner body is attuned, possesses its own structure and exists in a higher space. Two types of movement coexist, one in harmony with the inner body, causal and determinative, and another in consonance with the outer body, subject to compulsion. The internal movement, the source of every event, shapes the external reality, reflecting the actions of the inner body. To better understand this principle, imagine the internal movement as the force that propels a ship. The external movement, on the other hand, would be the wake left by the ship as it passes, an effect of the original force. Neville Goddard invites us to mentally construct a drama where our desire is realized, a drama that involves the movement of the being. Immobilizing the physical body, as if we were in a restful sleep, we initiate the predetermined action in our imagination. A vivid representation of the action is the starting point for its materialization. As we fall asleep, we visualize the scene with the greatest possible clarity. The duration of the sleep is not crucial, a brief nap can be sufficient. Bringing the action into sleep transforms fantasy into reality. At first, our thoughts may scatter like sheep without a shepherd. We must not despair if our attention deviates repeatedly. We must patiently redirect it to the chosen path until, through exhaustion, it follows the traced route. The internal journey must never lack direction. As we traverse the internal path, we must act as we mentally rehearsed before beginning. We must move towards the prize we have already visualized, accepted, understood, and felt as ours. Professor John Livingston Lowes, in his analysis of imagination, asserts that fantasy and imagination are not two distinct powers but one. The difference lies in the intensity with which this power operates. Imaginative energy, working at high tension, assimilates and transmutes the same energy that, at low tension, gives rise to fantasy. At its peak, images fuse indissolubly into a single reality. To illustrate the practical application of this theory, Neville Goddard recounts the story of a blind young woman who, facing a transportation problem in San Francisco, visualized the solution, being driven in a car. Despite her blindness, she imagined in great detail the experience of traveling by car, feeling the rhythm of the engine, the smell of gasoline, the movement of the vehicle, the contact with the driver. At the end of the imaginary journey, she thanked the driver, got out of the car, and heard the door close. This young woman, by visualizing her desire with such intensity, managed to activate the transformative power of imagination. Her mental journey, controlled and subjectively directed, brought her imagination to its maximum potential. She kept her purpose firm, aware of the inherent cohesion and intentional internal movement. In these mental journeys, emotional continuity is fundamental. The emotion of fulfilled desire, expectation, and longing, strongly united, transform into a physical act. The inner being moves more effectively along the predetermined course when emotions collaborate. The inner being must be activated and is best activated with thoughts of great achievements and personal benefits. We must enjoy our actions. For 2 consecutive days, the blind young woman took her imaginary ride, experiencing all the joy and sensory vividness of reality. A few hours after her second imaginary ride, a friend told her a story in the evening newspaper. It was the story of a man interested in blind people. The blind young woman called him, shared her problem, and the next day, on her way home, she stopped at a bar. There, she felt compelled to tell the story to the bar owner. A stranger, upon hearing the story, offered to drive the blind young woman home every day. The man who told the story then said, "If you drive her home, I'll take her to work." That was over a year ago, and since that day, these 2 gentlemen have been driving the blind young woman to her office and back. Now, instead of spending 2 hours and 15 minutes on 3 buses, she arrives at the office in less than 15 minutes. On that first trip to her office, she turned to her Good Samaritan and said, "Thank you very much, sir." He replied, "The pleasure is all mine." Thus, the objects of her imagination were realities to her, of which the physical manifestation was only a testimony. The animating indeterminative principle was the imaginary ride. Her triumph might surprise only those who did not know her inner journey. She mentally visualized the world from that imaginary ride so clearly that all aspects of the city acquired identity. These internal movements not only produce corresponding external movements, this is the law that operates in all physical appearances. Those who practice these exercises of bilocation will develop uncommon powers of concentration and stillness, inevitably reaching awakened consciousness in the internal and dimensionally larger world. By feeling the city with the sense of her fulfilled desire, she matched the desired state and granted herself what sleeping men ask God to accomplish. For a desire to manifest, an action must begin in the imagination, beyond the evidence of the senses. Involving the movement of the inner being, implying the fulfillment of your desire, every time the action performed by the outer being to appease the desire, that desire will be realized. The movement of every visible object is not caused by things outside the body but by things within it that operate from the inside out. The journey is within you, you traverse the paths of the internal world. Without internal movement, it is impossible to produce anything. Internal action is introverted sensation. If you mentally construct a drama that implies you have achieved your goal, then close your eyes and direct your thoughts inward, introducing your imagination into the predetermined action and participating in that action, you become a self-determined being. Internal action orders all things according to its own nature. Experiment. Verify if the desired ideal, once formulated, is possible, because only through this process of experimentation can you realize your potentialities. This is how the creative principle is actualized. Therefore, the key to an intentional life is to focus your imagination on the action and feeling of the fulfilled desire, with such awareness, such sensitivity that you initiate movement in the internal world. Ideas sprout if they are felt, awakening internal movement conditioned by self-motivation, external movement by compulsion. Wherever you set the sole of your foot, I will give it to you. And remember, the Lord your God is mighty in the midst of you. I hope this content has been valuable to you, that you have gained benefits from it. My goal with this channel is to help you prosper financially, and it all begins in the mind, of course. But I always emphasize that inspired action is also necessary. Only with inspired action aligned with the feeling of fulfilled desire can we produce material effects. If you liked it, leave a like and subscribe to help strengthen our channel and continue sending light to the lives of many people, just like yours. A big hug, and until the next video.